What's up, guys? In this video, I'm going to be going over a very detailed comparison between the notoriously fast Astra theme and the brand new Kadence theme, and letting you know which WordPress theme is better. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Jake from startblogging101.com, and let's get right into it. So for those of you who may have not seen this yet, I wrote a very detailed blog post. It's over 5,000 words comparing Astra versus Kadence and letting you know which WordPress theme is better. I wanted to go through each of the sections and talk about them in a video because you can get a lot more information across in a video than through a blog post. But for those of you that want to read the blog post or even follow along, I'll have the link down in the description below. The first thing that I wanted to say to start this out is that in 2019, I jumped on the Astra bandwagon, just like pretty much everyone else I know did as well. In fact, just a few short months ago, Astra just surpassed 1 million active installs, which is the first non-default WordPress theme to have done that. That is crazy impressive. It's just unbelievable how fast that the Astra theme has risen. In fact, Astra came out in 2017, and the Kadence theme was announced around March of 2020. But as soon as I saw the Kadence theme, I instantly fell in love. I loved so many more things about it over Astra, and I'll go over those in each section below. But I want to detail specific areas between Astra versus Kadence and let you decide for yourself on which WordPress theme is better. So here is just the table of contents of just what I'm going to be going through. So my very first most important thing that I look for in a WordPress theme is speed performance. How fast is it? I don't want a bloated theme. I used to be on X theme using the Cornerstone page builder. It was very nice and it looked cool, but it was very, very slow. I've used Elementor. I should note one important thing is that I did not use any page builder for any of these tests. And the reason why is because if you use Elementor Pro, for example, that completely takes over the theme. It allows you to make different theme templates. You can build your headers and footers all within Elementor. And so that's not a very fair comparison because I wanted to look at themes just using the Gutenberg editor because I truly believe that within the next year, tons and tons of people are going to be switching from page builders over to the Gutenberg editor. I'm already seeing it happen, and the Kadence theme is doing an amazing job of doing just that. And as I said, there will be more on that further on in the video. So I wanted to go over speed performance. I wanted to see how does the Astra theme and the Kadence theme match up when it comes to speed. So I'm going to go over 3 different tests using Web Page Test, GTmetrix, and Google PageSpeed Insights. After that, I wanted to go through ease of use. How easy is the WordPress theme to use? You know, things such as the header builder, different layout customizations. So how easily can I tweak my layout and get it to look the way I want? And then I also go over color customization. So the differences between how do the themes handle colors? How easy is it to change? And then from there, I'll move on to WooCommerce integrations and I'll show you the different custom features that they've added. I'll go over free and premium options real quick for both themes. I'll go over support and documentation because support and documentation is very important in having a successful WordPress theme. And then lastly, I'll go over the pricing between the two. So let's jump right into it. So the very first thing for speed performance that I want to say is I grabbed a brand new domain name and I hooked it up to a SiteGround GoGeek hosting account. And all I did is I put the domain name on that hosting account and I installed the Astra theme right out of the box. I added 0 plugins. I have no optimization plugins. And then I ran a speed test against a sample page. And then once that was done, I removed the free Astra theme off of that. I then put the free Kadence theme on there and ran the same exact tests. So the very first speed test that I did is a web page test. And this one I believe is the most accurate. What it does and what you're able to do with web page tests is you're able to run up to 9 tests back to back consecutively, which is really, really nice because if you've ever used the PageSpeed tool before, you would notice that depending on when you run the test or if you just run back-to-back tests, you'll get varying results. And sometimes it's a somewhat significant amount of time difference. So the nice thing about web page tests is it goes through 9 tests back-to-back, and it takes the median values of all those tests. If you want to view these tests, I have them on the blog post here. In fact, this is the web page test results for the Astra theme, and this is the web page results for the Kadence theme. And if I look at the chart here, I found some really interesting things. So you'll notice that the median speed index between Astra and Kadence were the exact same at 0.8 seconds. Right out of the box, the Astra theme has 9 requests and the Kadence theme had 10 requests, so one more request for the Kadence theme. The page size, though, was 50 kilobytes for Astra and only 43 for Kadence. So right out of the box, Kadence is actually a little bit smaller right now. But probably the most important here is the median load time. And for Astra, it was 0.888 seconds and Kadence was 0.837. So it's interesting because Kadence is actually faster than Astra right out of the box. And I've already had about a dozen people say, hey, but well, a few milliseconds doesn't matter. And I 100% agree with you. A few milliseconds definitely does not matter when it comes to page speed tests. But what I find most impressive, and what you'll see later on in the video, is that Kadence offers way more functionality, especially in the free theme, than the Astra theme. And despite giving you all that functionality, it is just as fast, if not faster, than the Astra theme. So that's one important thing to keep in mind as we go throughout this video. Let's move on to the next speed test. So I used GTmetrix for this one. And I have the screenshots here. This is the Astra page that I got with GTmetrix, and this is the Kadence page. And once again, very similar results. You'll see again, the Astra theme right out of the box had 9 requests. The Kadence theme had 10 requests. So one more. Once again, Astra, 52 kilobytes of a page size, and Kadence showed up at just around 45 kilobytes. But here again, Astra loaded in 1 second, and the Kadence theme loaded in 0.6 seconds. So 0.4 second difference, which for a theme right off the bat is pretty impressive. And once again, Kadence takes the cake over Astra as being faster in GTmetrix. The last page speed test that I did was a Google PageSpeed Insights test. What I mostly focused on was the mobile score, because it's pretty easy for a lot of themes to get a very good desktop score, but it's not extremely easy for a lot of themes to get a good mobile score. So I definitely wanted to focus on that. So what you'll see here is that the Astra and Kadence theme, both right out of the box, had a 99 mobile score, which is insanely good. That's definitely up there with any of the best WordPress themes for sure. And then there was just a slight difference. You know, in time to interactive, the Kadence theme was slightly faster, and the speed index, Kadence was once again slightly faster, and it had no total blocking time, at least right out of the box when it's first installed. So that makes Kadence the unanimous winner between Astra and Kadence for page speed. I thought that was crazy, and once again, like I said, that will become even more impressive as we go further down into the video and dig into some of the features. And one other thing that I wanted to go through is I've had a lot of people ask me and say, hey, well, that's all fine and dandy that those are the numbers right out of the box for each of the themes, but how does Kadence hold up in a real world test? And I said, okay, well, I'll show you that as well. In fact, I ran a page speed test on this exact blog post, startblogging101.com/Astra versus Kadence. You can see it loaded here, and I wanted to just show you these numbers because now this is a full-blown site. It has plugins on it. The only thing that I did other than putting Kadence Theme Pro on there, I also have Kadence Blocks and Kadence Blocks Pro on there. And the only optimization plugin that I put on there was SG Optimizer, which is SiteGround's optimization plugin. All I did is I flipped that on and gave it the settings that I always put on all my websites, and I ran this page speed test. And these numbers blew me away. So this blog post has at least 24 images on it. Like I said, it's full blown with everything that a normal web page would have on it. And you'll see that the desktop numbers here was a 100, which is, you can't get better than that. You can see some of the numbers here. I won't go over these specifically, but you can see these numbers are just fantastic and very low. But other than that, The most important thing I wanted to show with this is the mobile tab. So one thing you'll notice with users that use Elementor to build their websites and their pages out is that many times, as I said before, they'll have high desktop scores, but their mobile numbers will really be poor. You know, they might have a desktop score in the 90s, but then once they go to the mobile tab using Elementor, it might be red in the 40s. I've seen dozens and dozens of posts on WordPress groups and things like that showing that. And so I wanted to just show you how easy and how fast of a website you can get with Kadence. So if I flip over to the mobile tab here, I have a 94, and that is unbelievably high for doing literally nothing except writing the blog post and turning on SG Optimizer. I have not spent hours and hours, and I have not paid a cent to anybody to optimize this blog post. And right off the bat, it's getting a score of 94 on mobile. And once again, you can look through these numbers here, but I just wanted to show that because I've had a lot of people say, oh, I bet the real world scenario won't be good. I'm willing to bet that Kadence will load slowly. Well, this is proof that it doesn't. It is very fast. So the next section I want to go through is ease of use. And I mentioned this in the beginning of the video, but there are 3 specific tests that I wanted to go through that every single person building a website will probably go through. And I wanted to at least gauge on how each theme handled it and see which theme does it better. So the very first test that I wanted to go through is I wanted to build a header with a logo, main navigation, social icons, a call to action button, and a search icon. So I'll show you the header builder for each of those. The second test I went through was I wanted to set up an attractive blog post layout showing the title, the last updated date, and that's very important. I want to show the last updated date, not the published date, and the post author. For the third test, I want to customize the color palette to match my company's brand and apply it throughout the website. So I'll go through the color customization options for each of those themes as well. So for the first test, let's go over the header builder and see how each theme does, Astra and Kadence, in building my desired header. So for this, I'm going to actually go through real world examples and show you on some test sites that I build. One thing before I do the header builder test is I wanted to just mention that I am using the Pro version of both themes. So I'm using Astra Pro and I'm using Kadence Pro so that I can get all the possible functionality between the two themes. So here is a test site that I imported in. This is an Astra test site. I imported it in using the Astra Starter template plugin. And this is a Kadence test site that I imported in using the Kadence Starter template plugin. So right off the bat with Astra, I was pretty happy because I had my logo here, I had main navigation, and I had a call to action button, which is this contact button here. But one thing, as I started to get in there and I wanted to add social icons or a search icon to the header, and I find out that I can't easily do that. So if I go into primary menu here, you'll see that you can choose one item is all for your last item in your menu. So you can have a button, you can have a search, which if you choose that, it shows that search icon. Or I tried to find out how to do social icons with Astra, and I found out that after quite a bit of research, admittedly took a lot longer than I would have liked, is you have to get an Astra widgets plugin. And I just don't like that. I don't like having to install a whole separate plugin just to add simple social icons to my header. In fact, adding social icons, especially SVG icons, in your header is very lightweight, and it would not add any bloat to a WordPress theme. And so it kind of blew me away that Astra had you install a separate plugin for that. And after mucking around with it quite a bit, I finally did get it. In fact, if I choose widget here, it adds the social icons here, but you can see that it's not even lined up with my navigation. The spacing isn't right off the bat, and I would have to play around with it for quite a bit longer to get these social icons to look exactly how I want. But probably the biggest thing is how limiting Astra's header builder is. In fact, I can't even have 2 out of the 3 items that I want on here. I can only have either social icons or a call to action button or a search icon. I cannot have all 3 in my header. And that was just really disappointing when I had all my websites on Astra. So if I flip over to Kadence here, you'll see that this was a header that I built. I built this in probably less than 10 minutes. So I have my logo here, I have my main navigation, I have social icons, I have a call to action for a membership for people to sign up on the site. Plus I have this account icon where users can now go in and sign into the website and gain access to a membership. And so if you look at the Kadence header here, header builder, I should say, you'll notice how easy it was to build this. In fact, I just grabbed each of these elements, this logo here, this primary navigation. I have the social element here. I have a button that I configured, which is this membership here. I have a divider, which nicely separates that. I have the account element here, which is this piece. And if I want to add a search icon to this, all I have to do is just say, get rid of this, and I can grab the search and drop it right there. And within 5 seconds, I just added a search icon to my header. And the most amazing part of all this is I can have all 3 of the items in my header. I can have a search icon, I can have a button, and I can have social icons, which are SVG icons. And like I said, they add no bloat. They are very, very fast loading. I have my primary navigation and my logo. So within less than 10 minutes, I already have my desired header in Kadence. Whereas when I was on Astra, I never was able to get the desired header I wanted without using some hacky code, or I would have to use Elementor. And I don't want to use Elementor for this because Elementor is a whole other cost. It's an entire tool that you have to learn. Plus, as I said before, as soon as you use it, it starts taking a hit on your page speed. For these tests, I wanted to definitely focus on Gutenberg because with the Gutenberg page builder continually being added to, it's something that Kadence has a really deep integration with Gutenberg, and it will absolutely help for page speed in the future. I think you're going to see tons and tons of people dropping page builders such as Elementor in the next year and moving to Gutenberg. In fact, I'm already seeing it happen with Kadence, and Kadence has been the main theme that has helped push that. So that's it for the header builder. As you can see, Kadence has a huge leg up on Astra as far as header building goes. It's very similar, if not even better than Elementor's header builder. And so you'll definitely have a better time building headers with Kadence than Astra. So for the next test, I wanted to go through layout customization. And to just real quickly talk about this, I want to have an attractive blog post layout where I have a content area of around 800 pixels. I want a sidebar that's exactly 300 pixels wide. And the reason for that is because if you use any ad or affiliate networks, such as Google AdSense or Mediavine, or any sort of affiliate banner, many of them will require that you have a 300 pixel fixed sidebar, because if it's any less than that, the ads could potentially get clipped and you would be flagged, and it's just no good for anybody. And so the ability to have a fixed 300 pixel sidebar is very important for me and my websites. So I want to do that. And as I said from earlier for this test, is I want to have an attractive blog post title. I want to show the last updated date, and I want to show the author. And so I just want to go through each of these for Astra and Kadence and show you what you get with each theme. So here I am on the Astra test site again. I'm on a blog post, and if I go into blog and single post, here are the options I get to specify how I want this to look. And one thing when I had my websites on Astra is I was never impressed with the options that I was given here. In fact, you'll see that right off the bat I have my title, and I have by Jake, which is the author. I have the published date, and I have leave a comment, which is nice and it's very basic. But this is one thing that absolutely blew my mind with using Astra in a bad way. You'll see that it shows published date here. And so you can have your published date, but there is no option for the last updated on date. And that is just insane to me. I can't believe that Astra, being as popular as it is, doesn't have an easy way to show the last updated date. In fact, you have to use some custom CSS to show the last updated date. But even then, you can't add a label such as updated on and then show the date without tweaking theme files or once again doing some hacky code. And that should be something that's just way easier to do. In fact, I'll even just show, if I come back here, Astra has like a page headers section here where you can add new, and you get a few short, small options for layout. but it's all done outside of the WordPress customizer, and you have to tweak all these things, and you just do not get a number of layout options available to you. And so as you just look through some of these options, you'll notice that, like I said, it's very basic, and this is pretty much as good as I got for, an attractive looking title for a blog post. It's simple and it does the job, but I think you'll be blown away when you see the options that are available with Kadence. So if I come over to Kadence here and I go to the blog page and I just bring up a sample blog post, that is, and I'll come in here and I'll go to blog posts and single post layout. And here is the same exact thing except on Kadence's view. So I was very easily able to build this attractive header here. I have the category showing up here. I have the title in a big bold font. I have the author here with even an image of me, which I love. I have updated on with the date and comments. And I'll show you here how much better Kadence is over Astra in this aspect. So if I just real quick go back here, once again, here were your meta options. And as you can see, you can just change the order of these. There are no additional options available to you. But on Kadence, you have the ability to drag and drop, but there are also these drop downs which give you an insane amount of additional functionality with these blog post options. And so let me just show you real quick. If I open up Meta, you get a whole array of additional options here where you can show the author, you can show the image, you can specify how big you want the image. There's an author label. So if I don't want that by to say by Jake, and I can just click that I and boom, that's gone. So as simple as that. In fact, here is exactly what I was talking about that Astra does not have. All I had to do to turn off the publish date was hit this toggle. It took 2 seconds and I clicked this show last updated date on, and just like that, it's now showing the last updated date and not the last published date. And best of all is I can add any label here that I want it to say. And if I don't want it, I click the I, that updated on is going to disappear, or I can flip it back on. And that is a 10-second job in Kadence. That is so much easier than writing custom CSS or having to tweak theme PHP files. I can't believe how hard it is to do something as simple as that in Astra. Something else, I mean, you can look through these if you give the Kadence theme a try, but there's tons of different options for each of these, and that's just fantastic. Way more layout options between, how you want your page title to look, how it's aligned. You can choose whether you want sidebars or not, boxed or unboxed, all sorts of options that you get, even with the free theme. And I do really quick just want to show you the sidebar here. So if I go to General, Sidebar, you'll see here that I have 300 pixels as a fixed sidebar. And if I click this open, you can see there's pixels, there's EMs, there's rems, and there's percentage. Whereas if I go to this in Astra and I come back here and I go to sidebar, all Astra gives you is a percentage. And I completely agree that percentage is fantastic for responsiveness. In fact, you want percentage almost all of the time. But the bad thing about using a percentage at 30% is that if my screen size gets smaller, my sidebar is going to be less than 300 pixels. And if you're on any type of ad network or affiliate network that you've used where you've put ads in the sidebar, that's usually a huge no-no, and you can't do that. And so with Kadence, it's fantastic that you have way more options than just the percentage. You can click pixels and specify your pixels, and now this sidebar is 300 pixels at all times. So that's just fantastic, and another huge win for Kadence for layout customization. So for the last ease of use test, I'm going to be going over a color customization test. And for this, one of the first things I do when I build a website is I match it up with my color palette that I have for that website. So on the left side here is showing Astra's colors, and on the right side is showing how Kadence handles colors. And Astra here on the left is pretty much how most WordPress themes that I've used handle it, where you choose a text color, your theme color, your link color. But then, you have to go through each section and define how you want your colors to look. Whereas on the right side here, Kadence has a very simple but pretty revolutionary feature that uses a global color palette. And it's pretty genius when you start to learn how to use it. In fact, for those of you that want to give Kadence a try and want to know more about the Kadence color palette, I have an entire blog post tutorial going over the Kadence global color palette and how to use it. But as a real quick explanation, the first two colors here are your accent colors, which would be your brand colors. The middle four colors end up being your contrast colors, which are used for text all throughout your site. And the last three colors are your base colors, which are used for backgrounds and borders. And it's really, really nice because once those are all defined, which is very quick and easy to do, you can then globally link those colors. In fact, I'll just show you here. If I come back here and go to colors, here's the global color palette for this test website. Once you have those colors defined, you can go through and you can choose those colors out of the global color palette and they will get this globe icon on them. And once the globe icon is on there, it means it's globally linked. And then if you were to ever change the colors on your website, or say that, your text ended up being a little lighter than you want it to be and you want it to just be slightly darker, in Astra or pretty much any other theme, you'd have to go in and you'd have to specifically change the text color in every area, your header, footer, main content, body, or sidebar, and get it to be that darker color. Whereas in Kadence, if you had that globally linked, all you'd have to do is come and change that color once in the global color palette, and it goes and it changes the colors all throughout your website. So that just saves you so much time. It saves headaches. It's way, way, way easier to use a global color palette that Kadence gives you than the Astra theme. So to finish up the color customization test, once again, no surprise here, Kadence definitely takes the cake over Astra in giving you way better color customization options that allow you to very easily and way more quickly set the colors for your brand or your company and apply them all throughout your website. Now for this section, I'm going to be going over WooCommerce integration. And I'll talk pretty quickly about this because this is something that I believe that you should just give Kadence a try or Astra and see which one you like better. But Kadence definitely has some more advantages over Astra here when it comes to WooCommerce. But I'll show you some of these real quick. So this is an Astra imported site for WooCommerce. And this is a Kadence imported site using the Kadence starter plugin. And so with each of these test sites, I wanted to just go through a single product page and see how it looks. So once again, this is the Astra single product page, and this is the Kadence single product page. And right off the bat, I love how the Kadence one looks. In fact, it adds each of these badges here, with satisfaction guaranteed and secure payments and things like that. It has this guaranteed safe checkout showing all the payment methods. And I think just even little touches like that alone, they give your potential buyers just some more guarantees, and they give them just some more peace of mind to purchase through your site versus another one. And if you open up the single product layout here for Kadence, you can see that you have all these various layout options. And then if I scroll down here, you see that there are additional functionalities that you get with Kadence, just like you did with the single blog post layout, that you don't get with Astra. So in Astra here, you can see that there are each of these options, but they can just be dragged around and there's not anything additional that you can do with them. Whereas in Kadence here, you get drop downs for a lot of these, and so that gives you additional functionality. So if I just open up extras here, these are these three things here, and you can very quickly change the icon that it shows. You can have these say anything that you possibly want, and you get up to 5 of them to add to your page here, which is fantastic. If I go over payments here and open this, you can see that it shows all the different options that you have for payment methods. So you can toggle on any ones that your website takes. So if I just flip on Stripe here, for example, you can see Powered by Stripe shows. Or say I don't have Stripe and I want to show Apple Pay. I can click that and Apple Pay shows here. Or say that you don't like the colors of these and it's just kind of a little gaudy and it just doesn't blend in, and you want these payment methods to blend in a little better. Well, you can just choose gray for a grayscale, and it'll take these and give a grayscale of all those, which just really helps blend in with the website. It's fantastic what you get with WooCommerce here. And this is just the single product page. I mean, if you start to dig into the options here, you'll see that there are a ton of things. There's single product Ajax add to cart, which Astra has as well. You can show the cart pop out on add to cart. So if I come back to shop here and I simply just add one of these to my cart, you can see that it flips that out right away, which is very, very nice. I think that's cool. If I X out of here and I come back onto a single product page. This is a feature that Kadence has added to their WooCommerce extras just recently. But if the user is on a single product page, and say this product page is long because it has a lot of descriptions or reviews or whatever, if they scroll down here, if you caught that there, you see up here a sticky banner shows. So if I scroll down again, the sticky banner comes down. It shows the product image, the product title, the cost, however many you want for quantity, and add to cart. So that constantly stays on the page as they stay scrolled down. And that will turn tons of visitors on your WooCommerce site into potential buyers, much better than just having that single add to cart that is only at the top. One other thing I just want to quick show is if you go into product catalog here, and I don't have anything built for this, but Kadence has this custom shop page, which once again is kind of a groundbreaking feature that other popular WordPress themes are certainly going to mimic and copy. But if I turn this on, so here is just my product catalog. If I turn this on, as I said, I don't have anything built, but you can now build something here using either Gutenberg blocks, Kadence blocks, or your page builder using whatever WooCommerce specific blocks that you want. So say you don't like just that grid and you want something totally different, or you want to show it by categories or whatever it might be, you can build your own custom shop page, and that will completely take over and override the original one here, which is what I had up here. So that is just an amazing feature. When I heard of that, you can just tell that Kadence is definitely innovating and is one of the top themes that is cranking out these fantastic features for their users. And so I would definitely give Kadence the advantage here over WooCommerce options in comparison to the Astra theme. Now we'll move on to free and premium options here. And once again, I want to just cover this quickly because I know this is getting long. But one thing, if you look at Astra Pro, in fact, this is Astra Pro's website. These are all of the additional functionalities and features that you get by purchasing Astra Pro. And you look at that and say, wow, that is a lot of stuff that you get for purchasing Astra Pro. And for me, when I saw it, it definitely justified the purchase. So I want to quickly go through this and show you guys something on how much more value you get with Kadence over Astra. So every single one of these features that I have listed right here is a feature that you get with Astra Pro, which you have to pay around $50 a year for. But every single one of these features is a feature that comes 100% free with the free Kadence theme. So you get top bar, a main bar, and a bottom bar for your header in Kadence. You get a sticky header for both desktop and mobile. In fact, a mobile sticky header is a premium option for almost all themes, but Kadence gives you that for completely free. You get a transparent header. You get various page layouts. You get better typography options. You get more color controls. Like I said, that global color palette is once again completely free. You get a scroll to top link. This right here is a scroll to top link. That's free. That's normally a premium option. Like I said, with Astra and many other themes, you get footer widgets, you get different page headers, you get spacing control, and you get a nav menu. So the fact that you get every single one of those for free with Kadence, and you have to pay $50 a year for Astra Pro to get each of these is crazy to me. Right there shows how much more value Kadence gives over Astra when it comes to the free theme. In fact, if you're considering any free WordPress theme on the market, Kadence will beat it hands down. There is no other theme out there that gives you the options for free that Kadence does. You always have to pay more for a premium theme to get some of these more fantastic features. So as far as pro features go though for each theme, especially the Kadence theme, ones that I didn't mention from Astra is element hooks and filters. You get custom layouts, you get a mega menu and additional WooCommerce options, and white label. So white label, Astra has it. It's coming very, very soon in Kadence. So I want to just jump to the Kadence Pro page here to show you some of their options. So you get additional header add-ons, a ton of new additional header add-ons. In fact, I showed that in the beginning here, but if I come back and go to header, some of these are free, but all these additional ones that I have on here that are also listed in here, those come with Kadence Pro. You get hooked elements. Just think of hooked elements for Kadence as being the same thing as custom layouts in Astra. So you're able to build any custom section that you want using either Gutenberg blocks, Kadence blocks, or your page builder, and then hook it into your website. In fact, this little piece right here, this About Me, is a perfect example of a Kadence element hook that I made myself. This is a 5-minute tutorial. I have a blog post going over exactly this. So you get hooked elements. This is by far my favorite feature in Kadence, and I will have a number of tutorials and other things that I'll go over because this alone I could talk about for hours. Ultimate menu in Kadence Pro, which gives you the ability to make a mega menu, so you can add an icon before your navigational items, or say you even just want an icon instead of text completely. So say you want your home navigation item to just be a home icon. You can do that. You can build a complete ultimate menu, which is a multi-column menu with different navigation. You can put a Google map in there. You can put contact information. You can do whatever you want when someone hovers over one of your main navigation items. Fixed elements are fantastic. They tie in with hooked elements here, but you now have the ability to have fixed footers and fixed banners. So like a countdown timer at the top of your website that stays fixed there, and you can show it by various device. Header and footer scripts, this is actually super nice, and I'll show this really quick as well. If I come in here, and once again, this is a Kadence Pro add-on. If I click custom scripts here, right here I can add any scripts into my header right after the opening body tag or in my footer. So normally this is a plugin that many people have, or they have to use elements to do this. So if you wanted to take your Google Analytics code and put it into your header, you can do it directly in your WordPress customizer. Kadence is the only theme that I know that does this. I know this is a simple feature, and it's not hard to install a simple plugin such as inserts, headers, and footers, but why have that plugin when you can literally flip a toggle on and have it right in your WordPress customizer? So that's super nice. Plus the WooCommerce add-on, which is all the additional WooCommerce options that I just went over in the WooCommerce section. So now for this section, I want to talk about support and documentation. Support and documentation, without it, I don't think that a WordPress theme can be successful without good support and documentation. So here is Astra's documentation. As I probably mentioned earlier, Astra has been around since 2017, and so they have been established. They have had time to write a lot of documentation, whereas Kadence has been around since March of 2020, so they've been around much less time, but they have added documentation, and they're continuing to add documentation almost every single week. As you can see, Astra has a number of articles here since they've been around for a lot longer, and I've gone through it, and it's pretty good. I've been able to at least go through and do a lot of the things that I've wanted to do, or if I Google something and try to figure out how to do it in Astra, I've been able to figure it out. As far as Astra support goes, I haven't had personally the best luck with them. I contacted them last year several times on how to do some more slightly technical things. I wouldn't even say it's technical. It just involved a little bit of code. My average response time was anywhere from about 36 to 48 hours, which is very slow. And when I did receive a response back, it was something that I had already tried, and I don't think I ever really resolved any of my things. I had to just figure it out myself. So Astra support has been mediocre, but your mileage may vary. I mean, it completely depends on the person. So you might have had an amazing time with Astra support, and it just is on a person-to-person basis. As far as Kadence goes, here are their documentation articles, so not nearly as many as Astra, and because of that, I would not say that Kadence documentation is as good as Astra's documentation. But once again, Astra's been around almost 3 years more than Kadence has. So give Kadence 3 years, and I can promise you they'll be much better than this. In fact, even in the next year, I'd be willing to bet that this documentation will expand a huge amount. And then as far as Kadence support goes, Kadence support has been much better than Astra support for me. Ben, the creator of the Kadence theme, is very knowledgeable, extremely knowledgeable. He listens to every single person. In fact, I would advise you to go to the Astra WordPress Facebook group and the Kadence WordPress group, which is called Web Creator. and just be a part of each of those and see which one you like better. There are always people willing to help out there for both themes, both Astra and Kadence. And so that's what I just love about public communities, is just being able to go in and help each other out with issues, because we all have issues that we need to figure out with our websites, and it's always nice when you can get a good answer from somebody. So as far as support and documentation goes, I would say it's pretty much a wash. I would say that Astra has better documentation than Kadence right now, because Kadence is so much more new. But I would say that Kadence has better support than Astra. And so they kind of wash each other out. And as Kadence grows, especially in the next 6 to 12 months, you will see them add a lot more to their support, their documentation. And I'd be willing to bet that they become one of the best themes for both support and documentation. So we have finally made it to the last section. If you've stuck around this long, thank you so much. This is the pricing section. And I know you might be thinking, that's all fine and dandy. I understand what Astra Pro gives me, and I understand what Kadence Pro gives me, but what do they cost? Because ultimately, cost is a huge factor in determining which WordPress theme you're going to use. So here I am on the Astra Pro pricing page. And I should note that I'm on the annual section right now. So this is a per year cost. And if I scroll down here, you can see Astra Pro is $47 a year. And obviously these prices may vary when you're watching this video, but I just want to give a general ballpark. But for $47 a year with Astra Pro, you get all the Astra Pro features, which I was showing before. You get 20 of their free starter templates. You get some support, extensive training, and then with any of these, you get unlimited website usage, which is really, really nice. And I do want to talk about the mini agency bundle here as well, because I will be comparing it to Kadence. But the mini agency bundle is all of the same features, except you get some more starter templates here. You get an additional plugin, and then you get a choice of a page builder add-on. And so a lot of people that are on Astra use page builders. And the reason for that is because you just can't do a whole lot with Astra, as you saw earlier in the video, as far as layout customizations and things go. And it doesn't have a header builder or any of that kind of stuff. So a lot of people prefer to use a page builder such as Elementor with it. And so if you buy this mini agency bundle, you get a choice of an ultimate add-on for Elementor or Beaver Builder or any page builder that you use. And that's $169 a year. So I want to just switch over here now to Kadence. This is the Kadence Pro pricing page. And Kadence Pro here is right now $59 a year. That once again is used on unlimited websites. You get 1 year supports and updates, because this is a yearly choice right now. You get the Kadence Theme Pro. And with many of these, you get a 30-day satisfaction guarantee, so that if you purchase and you aren't happy, you can get your money back. But I do really want to focus on the Kadence full membership here, because this is what I believe is going to cause tons and tons of people that use page builders to switch from their page builder and move over to Gutenberg. And the reason is the Kadence membership comes with Kadence Theme Pro, which is this whole section right here. Plus you get a ton of additional options that allow you to drop your page builders. So the biggest thing would probably be Kadence Blocks Pro here. In fact, Kadence Blocks, there's a free and a pro version of it. The free version is the most popular Gutenberg block plugin out there right now. It extends the capabilities of Gutenberg and gives you additional block options that you're used to with regular page builders such as Elementor. In fact, if I go to Kadence Blocks here, this is a test website with both the free and pro version of Kadence Blocks. And you can see you get all of these additional blocks, such as a row layout. You get different icons and tabs and accordion blocks and all sorts of things, such as testimonials. And I could talk about these for a really long time. In fact, they just added a table of contents block to here as well. But these are all the things that you're used to with a page builder, except the nice thing is they all use Gutenberg. And so you are going to get a massive, massive page speed boost by using Gutenberg and Gutenberg blocks, such as Kadence Blocks and Kadence Blocks Pro. So that comes with the membership. Plus you get access to all of their additional plugins. There's a couple listed here, but you can see all of them listed on their site, such as Kadence Woo Extras, Kadence Amp if you use that. And it includes all of their themes and plugins and any future releases. In fact, I know Kadence has a massive plugin release coming before too long. I'm super excited for that. And that full membership is $139 a year. So if you just compare that to the Astra mini agency bundle, it's $30 cheaper than that. But if you're on Astra and you use a page builder, you have to keep in mind that page builders have costs as well. In fact, if you go to Elementor's page here and you use Elementor Pro, if you have more than 3 sites, say you have 10 sites, which if you're using a mini agency bundle here, I'm assuming you have more than 3 sites, you would have to purchase this expert plan, which is an additional $199 per year on top of the already $169 a year. And so that is a huge cost. And if you get the Kadence full membership here, it's even cheaper than just the mini agency bundle. Plus, you don't need to use a page builder with Kadence. In fact, there are already tons of people that have switched from Astra and Elementor over to Kadence and Kadence blocks and have been very, very happy with it. And then real quick here, I just want to change to the lifetime here. So lifetime for just the Astra Pro is $249. And it's the same thing as before, except now it's just a one-time cost, which is nice. And you only have to pay once, and then you'll have Astra Pro forever. And if I go to Kadence here and switch to lifetime of just Kadence Pro for the theme is actually $229. So the lifetime for Kadence is actually $20 cheaper than Astra Pro here. And the lifetime Kadence membership, this is what I purchased several months ago. It is the best purchase that I have made on WordPress, and I've been blogging since 2014. There has been so much value in Kadence. Every single week is coming out and adding additional groundbreaking features that just blow me away every single time. And that's $489 for a lifetime, and that would just be a one-time cost. Whereas if you look at mini agency bundle for a lifetime for Astra, it's $499. Plus, keep in mind, if you're using Elementor Pro and you have more than 3 sites, you're paying an additional $200 every single year for Elementor. And so that cost just for the first year is going to be around $700 if you do that. Whereas the lifetime Kadence membership is $489. It's a one-time cost. And you'll never have to purchase anything again because you don't need a page builder. You get Kadence blocks, the free and the pro version. You have Kadence Theme Pro, which is the most powerful WordPress theme on the market right now. And this is just an insanely good deal. I should also note that if you are deciding to purchase any Kadence product, whether it be Kadence Theme Pro or the Kadence membership, that I do have an exclusive discount code for Start Blogging 101 readers and viewers. So make sure to check that out below. I'll have the latest one always listed. And I really do appreciate all of your support. It helps me to make more of these tutorials and videos to keep you updated with the latest WordPress themes and everything that's coming out with Kadence or any other tutorials that I release. So that wraps up the pricing section and the entire video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, make sure to leave a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and ring that bell. And also make sure to check out the Start Blogging 101 community on Facebook, where we talk about all things blogging. All of the links are below in the description, and I'll see you guys in the next video.